Good morning and welcome to today's special program honoring Waco ISD's 2016-17 retirees. This is a bittersweet occasion because on one hand, the district is saying congratulations and best wishes to everyone, while at the same time we're saying goodbye to co-workers and friends who have devoted numerous years of service to our most precious resource, our children. Although the entire group of retirees are not able to be with us this morning, it is important to note that the Waco ISD retiring class of 2017 has a combined 928 years of service. Today, as our retirees reflect on their years of service in our classrooms, in our offices, in our auditoriums, in our cafeterias, gymnasiums, athletic arenas, or anywhere else they may have served, it is our hope that the memories are filled with laughter, friendships, and their multiple accomplishments. Your commitment to the children of Waco ISD, regardless of where your job was, it all worked together. You know, we couldn't have had children in the classrooms if the bus drivers hadn't have gotten them to school on time and ready to learn. And you can't keep students all day long without feeding them breakfast and lunch. If we didn't have our cafeteria people, they would not be as good of learners. We wouldn't have our staff if the payroll department wasn't writing checks and ordering our supplies. It took all of us, and we value all of our retirees, and we thank you. That commitment to the children, regardless of the position, will always be appreciated. You will now embark on a new stage in your lives that will be fun-filled, relaxing, and full of many new adventures. And it is now my pleasure to introduce the members of the Board of Trustees who are joining us to help present the beautiful retirement awards. Our Board President, Pat Atkins. And President Atkins' right-hand man, his Vice President, Alan Sykes. Our Board Secretary, who keeps everybody on their toes, Mr. Norman Manning. The person known as the board member who has the voice of reason, Mr. Kerry Dupuy. And our most special former teacher, Miss Stephanie Cordowig. And believe me, she brings that teaching perspective. She always looks at it from the classroom level, and that's what makes a board good. We have businessmen, we have people in the community, we have people who are married to educators, we have people who are married to people who work in other positions, we have teachers. That's what makes a board work. You want that perspective that looks at everything. So we want to thank our board for that. And now we will ask our retirees to approach the stage as their name is called. And we're going to, at board, if you would come up and assist, Mr. Manning is going to help everyone off the stage and probably give you the most fun gift of all. Our first honoree is Mr. Rey Bickerstaff. Mr. Bickerstaff is at the Challenge Academy. He's one of our teachers. He is retiring from Waco ISD after 15 years of service in education, 10 served in Waco ISD. His fondest memories include helping develop confidence in students and watching their self-esteem grow when they accomplish their goal. He also enjoyed assisting students on their quest to graduate from their home campuses. Some of those students were the first to graduate in their family. Mr. Bickerstaff plans to travel and work in his home-based business. He and his wife, Rebecca, have 4 little fur babies.
Lots of fur babies.
Oh, lots of fur babies.
Thank you, Dr. Kane.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Sherry Carrillo, Dean Highland teacher. Ms. Carrillo is retiring from Waco ISD after 32 years of service in education, 28 served in Waco ISD. In addition to Dean Highland Elementary, she served at Mountain View Elementary. Her fondest memories include receiving the Rockstar Kindergarten Teacher Award and teaching children how to read even after she had had a stroke. Ms. Carrillo has not decided on what she will be doing in the future. She's leaving that open, and she has 2 children, Ashley and Brendan. Manny's going to help you down there. Bells Hill Principal, Miss Beth Cohn. Ms. Cohn is retiring from Waco ISD after 44 years of service in education, all served in Waco ISD. In addition to Bells Hill Elementary, she served at Dripping Spring Elementary in Waco ISD. Her fondest memories include working with the Baylor University Professional Development School, the Connect Ed Apple Grant. I was actually there when we had the kickoff for that. I couldn't tell who was more excited, Ms. Cohn or the kids. They've just done so many great things with that grant. She remembers all of her great teachers and students and parents, and she also enjoyed their annual enchilada dinner at Bells Hill and the Christmas program where she dressed up in the now famous Christmas tree dress. It's my understanding she is committed to coming back next Christmas and wear her dress. Ms. Cohn plans to travel with her husband, garden, read, relax, and spend time with her 5 grandchildren. Her husband is Jeff Cohn. She has 3 children, Clayton Bynum, Clark Bynum, and Courtney Lafferty. Ms. Cohn has 5 grandchildren, Braden, Landon, Mason, Scout, and Hazel. Those of you who were thinking, is that did it come from Kill a Mockingbird? Yes. Thank you. Okay, I'll tear that page out. From Cedar Ridge Elementary, Tina Daniel. Ms. Daniel teaches at Cedar Ridge. She is retiring from Waco ISD after 29 years of service in education, all in Waco ISD. Her fondest memories are those when her former students have come back to share with her what they are doing in their lives, as well as sharing what they enjoyed and remembered most about being in her class. Ms. Daniel plans to rest and travel. Ms. Daniel has 2 children, a daughter, Ashley Daniel, and son, Nicholas Daniel. Mr. Manuel's going to help you there. One of our Lake Air Montessori magnet teachers, Bernie Easley. Miss Easley is retiring from Waco ISD after 28 years of service in education, 23 of which were served in Waco ISD. Her fondest memories include running into former students and hearing what they are currently doing and what they remember when they were in her primary classroom. Miss Easley plans to take care of her house farm, to kayak, to cycle, and to read the pile of books that are beside her bed. Miss Easley's husband, Bill, is Bill, and her son is Justin. From University High School, and our assistant food manager from Food Services, Miss Linda Hobbs. Now I know why Mr. Reese had a tear in his eye when he came in. Ms. Hobbs is retiring from Waco ISD after 25 years of service. she served at many district campuses working in the food services department. Her fondest memory is her very first catering duty while working at the alternative school with Miss Laura, who retired some years ago. Miss Hobbs plans to continue to help take care of her mother and to travel. She and her husband, Winston, have 2 daughters, Yolanda and Yvonne, and 2 grandchildren, Jalen and Michaela. One of our G.L. Wiley Opportunity Center teachers, Miss Cheryl Jackson. Miss Jackson is retiring from Waco ISD after 42 years of service in education, 28 and a half of those which were served in Waco ISD. In addition to the Wiley Opportunity Center, she served at Waco High, University Middle School, Parkdale Elementary, Mountain View Elementary, Crestview Elementary, and Viking Hills Elementary. Her fondest memory includes being a counselor for Waco ISD for 14 years. She plans to spend time with her family, especially her grandchildren, and travel. Miss Jackson's husband is Franklin Jackson. She has 3 children, Ryan, Rory, and Rochelle, and grandchildren, Amaya Jackson, Renario Singleton, Kai Singleton, and Christopher Singleton. You got a big family. One of the gentlemen who helps keeps our grounds so pretty so that when people come to our buildings, they feel good before they even walk in, from Facilities and Maintenance, Mr. David Nance. Mr. Nance is retiring from Waco ISD after serving 23 years in Facilities and Maintenance, all in Waco ISD. His fondest memory is working at the Waco ISD Stadium, and his plans are to really enjoy retirement. Who's going to take care of Coach Tuesday?
You got a good man.
Okay, good. We're going to need one. We're going to need one. From our special education department, one of our instructional specialists for dyslexia, and Whitehill Nixon. Ms. Nixon is retiring from Waco ISD after 39 years in education, all of which were served in Waco ISD. In addition to working in the special education department, she served at Provident Heights, Dean Highland, Bells Hill, West Avenue, Cedar Ridge, Parkdale, Hines, Mountain View, and Indian Spring. Her fondest memories include the opportunity to fulfill her childhood dream of teaching children who experience difficulty with reading to help them become better readers. She loved being involved with language development, teaching reading recovery with Reading Recovery running records. Monthly meetings and Behind the Glass were all memorable events. Her years as a dyslexia teacher gave her the opportunity to teach on a variety of campuses. Ms. Nixon plans to travel, read, and spend time with her 3 grandchildren and with her friends. She has a twin named Lynn Brockman, 2 daughters, Jean and Nancy, 2 sons-in-law, Will and Larry, and 3 grandchildren, Preston, Layla, and Pete.
Thank you.
Our Provident Heights Assistant Principal, Miss Andrea Nolan. Ms. Nolan is retiring from Waco ISD after 35 years of service in education, all served in Waco ISD. In addition to Provident Heights Elementary School, she served at Dripping Springs Elementary, Bells Hill Elementary, Parkdale Elementary, and Cedar Ridge Elementary. Her fondest memories include being a part of a school family, building lifelong friendships with the people she worked with, and having former students recognize her, run up to her, and give her hugs everywhere she goes. She will remember being blessed every day by being part of something that makes a difference in the lives of others. Ms. Nolan plans to garden, read, travel, and take care of her family. She's married to Garland Nolan, and her mother is Shirley Milliken. She has 2 children, Garrett and Mallory Nolan Greer, a son-in-law, Zachary Greer, and a daughter-in-law, Amelia Nolan. Waco High School teacher Robert Ruhlmer. Mr. Ruhlmer is retiring from Waco ISD after 34 years of service in education, 2 of those served in Waco ISD. His fondest memories including attending the Academic Achievers Banquet with his students. Mr. Ruhlmer plans to enjoy each day with his wife, who still loves him. Now, he made that note. I'm not certain if she's here and he's trying to remind her or he just wants to reassure her, but it is duly noted who still loves him and help his 3 youngest children complete college, and he wants to see more of the United States of America. Mr. Ruhlmer's wife is Judy. He has 3 sons, Michael, Matthew, and Nathan, and a daughter, Stephanie. University High School cafeteria manager Shirley Stimmel. Ms. Stimmel is retiring from Waco ISD after 37 years of service in food services, 25 years of which were served in Waco ISD. She served at a variety of campuses throughout the district. Her fondest memories include meeting all of the employees who have come and gone, watching both university, middle, and high school accomplish much throughout the years. She enjoyed the helpfulness of fellow Child Nutrition Service and Sodexo employees. Ms. Stimmel plans to spend time with her children and grandchildren. She has 1 daughter, 1 son, 1 granddaughter, and 1 grandson. One of our Cedar Ridge teachers, Miss Deborah Ton Cap. Ms. Ton Cap is retiring from WISD after 39 years of service in education, 14 of which were served in Waco ISD. In addition to Cedar Ridge Elementary, she served at Sol Ross Elementary. Her fondest memories include becoming ESL certified, learning about the cultures of students and their families. When Sol Ross broke through testing scores and began to gain ground, what a high it was for her. She enjoyed working with the Cedar Ridge staff to turn around the environment and to raise expectations. Ms. Ton Cap plans to spend more time with her family. Since she's given her life to other people's children, she wants to devote the rest of her life to her girls and grandchildren. She also hopes to find a part-time job working in a hospital. She believes she can help people under emotional and stressful situations. As she and everyone else says, she's very good at that. Ms. Ton Cap has 2 daughters, Melissa and Sarah Beth, 3 grandchildren, Penny, Violet, and Archer, and 3 sisters, Barbara, Julie, and Janet. Congratulations. You too. One of our behavior specialists from G.W. Carver Middle School, Malcolm Keith Willis. Mr. Willis is retiring from WISD after 24 years of service in education, 16 of which were served in Waco ISD. In addition to G.W. Carver Middle School, he served at University High School, Waco High School, and in the athletics department. His fondest memory includes being named the 2006 Teacher of the Year at Waco High School. He feels his growth from being a player at University High School to then becoming the head coach was a blessing. Mr. Willis plans to work with his own promotions company. He has 2 children, a daughter, Gabrielle, and a son, Terrence. Hey, Coach.
Make this look easy.
Thank you.
And as some of you know, we have one more retiree. Dr. Bonnie Kane. Now, I will preface this by telling you she wrote this first part, not me. So, Dr. Kane is retiring after 40 years of service as an educator and administrator, the last 6 of those with Waco ISD. She came to Waco from Pearland, where she was superintendent for 11 years, also serving as an elementary principal. She's earned her bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, all specializing in education. Her fondest memories come every June when she sees students overcome economic hardship and adversity and graduate, oftentimes being the first in their family to get a diploma. Knowing that Waco ISD helped them achieve that is very heartwarming and gratifying. Her plans for the future include moving back to where she grew up in East Texas and spending time with family and friends. She also admits that she may look up some old boyfriends if they're still around and single. All right. I'm going to call BS on that one. Great, TV cameras. BS meaning Bachelors of Science. Our son, my son, was in The Little Mermaid back in the fall, and my family came and saw it, and she met my dad.
I'm engaged.
She called me. She called me Monday morning. I understand my dad is 84 years old, plays tennis anywhere from 4 to 7 days a week, drives around Austin in a little Mazda Miata convertible at the age of 84. She calls me Monday morning and says, "I'm marrying your father." And I said, "Really? You just met?" And she said, "I've been thinking about it all weekend." I love your kids. Your kids would be great grandchildren. I love your wife. She would be the ideal daughter-in-law. And mostly, I relish the thought that you, Pat Atkins, will have to call me mother for the rest of your life. I have now got to call my dad, tell him about all these old boyfriends in East Texas. My whole family's going to be heartbroken and crestfallen tomorrow. Dr. Kane intends to continue to do consulting with school districts and to enjoy her retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Bonnie Kane.
Boy, how'd you do that?
The next item on the program is simply a few closing remarks and observations. First of all, this has quickly become one of my favorite events on the Waco ISD calendar, and please join me in thanking Elaine Boteo, Mary Oliveras, and all the folks in HR for putting on a wonderful event. Also, as some of you probably know, this is actually a fairly historic retirement breakfast, because this is the first time, I think, in 4 years that Dr. Bill Shepard didn't show up for us to hand him a clock. He showed up every year, we gave him his retirement clock, and then the next fall he was on some campus again somewhere in Waco ISD. In fact, Dr. Kane did put him back on a campus yet again this year, and when she called me to tell me that, the first thing I said is, we cannot afford to give that man another clock. She went through research, the Texas Education Code and board policy, said if I call him interim, we don't have to give him a clock, he's still retired. So that's what we did. Talking about clocks, I mentioned this last year, and I think it's very appropriate that what we give each of you on your retirement is a clock. Because what we're here today commemorating is the time that you've spent with Waco ISD. And it's not just the time measured in days and years, but the clock's important because it's the hours. The timeless hours that all of you have spent working with the young people in this community. I mentioned last year, the only thing that would make it more appropriate is if over time those hands started spinning around faster and faster and faster. They eventually look like the blades of a fan or a propeller because it does go by so fast. I was thinking tomorrow morning, our youngest is going to walk across the stage at Waco High and graduate. Right, Ed? All right. Occurred to me for a second I may be being a little presumptuous. Okay, but and reflecting on that, our oldest actually started kindergarten at Viking Hills back in 1993. And so my wife and I are retiring as public school parents after 24 years, all of which spent in Waco ISD. And during those 24 years, I've had an opportunity to work closely with a lot of you. Dr. Kane, Coach Willis, Mr. Nance, Ms. Nolan, Ms. Cohn, and each of you has made a tremendous difference. Each of you has had the unique opportunity to literally change countless lives. I'm going to be honest with you. I graduated high school back in 1983. So I was in the public school system from about 1970 till about 1983. For most of those years, I can't tell you who won a Nobel Prize. I can't tell you who won the World Series or the NBA championship, the US Open in golf or tennis. Ms. Nolan, Ms. Cohn, I do remember my elementary principals, Ms. Rockefeller and Ms. Atkins. Coach Willis, I remember my high school coaches, like Coach Rock. Mr. Nance, I have no idea how they're going to operate that facility without you over there. Every Friday night, you're in there. And Dr. Kane, I do remember, oh, who am I kidding? There's nobody like you, Dr. Kane. There ain't nobody I can remember. I was telling Carrie Dupuy on the way in. Y'all remember the experiment Pavlov's dogs where they'd ring the bell and the dogs would start salivating? Over the last 6 years, I have a conditioned reflex. When people say, Dr. Kane said, I automatically get tense, my heart starts racing because I never know what I'm about to hear. And starting Monday, I'll no longer have that reaction. Actually, she called me one morning from a breakfast. There had been an article in the paper, on a front page picture, and apparently it was me looking at her, something like this, and her friends told her the caption under that should be, Board President Pat Atkins wonders, what is Dr. Kane going to say next? That's not what I was thinking. Here, the point is this. It all goes by fast. Those of you who are educators can close your eyes and remember the first time you walked into that first classroom. The blank bulletin boards, nothing on the walls, you full of fire ready to change the world. And those hands started spinning real fast, and now you're sitting here retiring. But my point to you is, this morning you can rest assured that because of all the children you've touched, you have changed the world. So thank you all for joining us this morning. I hope you have a wonderful summer. To our honorees, both as a board member on behalf of this district, on behalf of this community, and as a Waco ISD parent, thank you, and have a wonderful retirement.
Thank you, President Atkins, Dr. Kane, and the board. And we would love for you to stay around and visit with each other and just send one last farewell to our retirees. Thank you all for coming.